welcome to the channel for my Premier League predictions. Game week 25. Game week 24 was an exciting week, and going to this game week 25, I'm looking up to get spot on predictions going to this game week. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel, put on the notification bell. Anytime I release a video, you may be one of the lucky people to get notified. My like target for this video is just 100 likes. Like this video and comment your predictions. Just to begin the game week 25 predictions, the first game is between Brentford versus Liverpool. In game week 24, Brentford were able to beat Wolves by 2-0, and I think in that game, Brentford was very impressive. And going to this game against Liverpool, we know Liverpool is a tough side and a top 4 opponent, but going to this game, I will not be shocked if this game ends in a draw, but I'm predicting a 2-2 draw. Brentford 2, Liverpool 2. Moving on to the next game is between Burnley and Arsenal. Going to this game, Arsenal in game week 24, they got a 6-0 victory over West Ham United, which in that game, Arsenal were able to dominate West Ham and got 6 goals in that game. So going to this game, I think Arsenal will still keep their momentum in this game, but I will not be shocked if Burnley had to go in this game. I'm not expecting Arsenal to keep a clean sheet in this game, but I'm predicting Arsenal 3, Burnley 1. Moving on to the next game is between Fulham versus Aston Villa. In game week 24, Aston Villa lost 2-1 against Manchester United, which in that game, I predicted a 2-1 win for Aston Villa, but they disappointed me, and in that game, they lost 2-1 to United at Villa Park. But going to away at Fulham, I think this game will be a tough game. I'm predicting a draw. I'm predicting Fulham 2, Aston Villa 2. Moving on to the next game is between Newcastle United versus AFC Bournemouth. I know Newcastle are still trying their possible best to keep their top 4 hopes. And going to this game, if they still want to get top 4 this season, each and every single game left or remaining in the season matters. And going to this game is a very tough one. In the first round of matches, Bournemouth got victory over Newcastle, but going to this game too, I think Newcastle will get a win, but it will be a slight win. I'm predicting a 2-1 win for Newcastle. Newcastle 2, AFC Bournemouth 1. Moving on to the next game is between Nottingham Forest versus West Ham United. In game week 24, West Ham United lost 6-0 to Arsenal, and prior to that game, they lost 3-0 to Manchester United. So I think going to this game would give them some little bit of relief. They've been on a bad form of run, and I think going to this game will be a tough game. Despite Nottingham Forest playing home to, it will not be an easy game for West Ham. Going to this game, I'm predicting a 3-2 win for West Ham. West Ham 3, Nottingham Forest 2. Moving on to the next game is between Tottenham Hotspur versus Wolves. In game week 24, Tottenham Hotspur got a last-minute win, making it 2-1. And I think Son is back, Maddison is back, so Tottenham almost have the full squad. And going to this game, Wolves in game week 24, they lost 2-0 to Brentford, and going to this game will be a tough one. I'm not expecting Tottenham to keep clean sheet in this game, but I'm predicting a slight win for Tottenham. I'm predicting Tottenham Hotspur 2, Wolves 1. Oh yes, moving on to the next game is between Manchester City versus Chelsea. In game week 25, this is the game of the week. And going to this match at the Etihad, I think Manchester City in game week 24, they won 2-0 against Everton, which Chelsea also won 3-1 against Crystal Palace. And going to this game will be a very tough and interesting game to watch. I know Chelsea fans don't have the hope that they can even get a point from this game. And going to this game at Etihad, I'm predicting a very tough game. I'm predicting a 0-0 draw. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 0. So moving on to the next game is between Sheffield United versus Brighton. I know Brighton in game week 24, they lost 2-1 against Tottenham Hotspur. And going to this game against Sheffield United, who also won against Luton Town, in game week 24. It will be an interesting game. I'm predicting Brighton to get win over Sheffield United. I'm predicting a 3-1 win for Brighton. Brighton 3, Sheffield United 1. And moving on to the next game is between Luton Town versus Manchester United. In game week 24, Luton Town lost to Sheffield United. Manchester United also got a 2-1 victory over Aston Villa. Going to this game will be a very tough game at Luton Town Stadium, and I know most big teams go there and struggle. So if United struggling in this game, I will not be shocked. Going to this game, I'm predicting Luton Town 2, Manchester United 1. And moving on to the next game is between Everton versus Crystal Palace. In game week 24, Everton lost to Manchester City by 2-0, and Crystal Palace also lost 3-1 to Chelsea. Going to this game, I'm predicting Everton to get a win over Crystal Palace. That's why I will not be shocked if this game also ends in a draw, but I'm predicting Everton 2, Crystal Palace 1. And there is an outstanding fixture between Manchester City versus Brentford. If City can win the league this season, then that game will be a decider, or it's a must win for Manchester City. Looking at their position on the league table, going into that game will decide if Man City will win the league or they can't. And my prediction for that game, I'm predicting City to get a 2-1 victory over Brentford. Man City 2, Brentford 1. Oh yes, these are my predictions for Premier League game week 25. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel, put on the notification bell. Anytime I release a video, you may be one of the lucky people to get notified. Comment your predictions and your expectations going to this game week 25 at the comment section. Till we meet in another video. Bye bye for now.